giving you an opportunity to get the full story from the people who tell it best. This is Mediacom Newsleaders.
Hi, I'm James Mauser, and I want to introduce you to a guy I met last year, and he looks like the guy who's going to go far. Jonathan Sessions, welcome back to Mediacom.
Thank you, James.
Good to see you.
Glad to be here.
You're with the Columbia Public School Board. You're a member. You're a relatively new member.
Just re-elected after a one-year term on the board. I've been re-elected for a three-year term now, so I'll be here for a little while.
So what's your take so far on, what are your feelings so far as being part of the Columbia Public School Board?
I love being on the Columbia School Board. It was a challenge. It's a definite challenge. Anybody that's willing to take on this challenge, though, knows the kind of challenge that they're up against. It's a big picture kind of situation. We're looking at a district of about 17,500 students that continues to increase, and a budget that's going to be in around $225 million roughly next year. So it's a big picture when you're looking at over 30 buildings and what it takes to maintain that and provide a quality education for our students in Columbia, Missouri.
Well, you were talking about the budget, and that's what everyone's talking about these days. So what is your take on the financial condition of Missouri schools?
It's bad. It's very bad across the state. The state legislature continues to decrease funding to the public schools, underfunding the foundation formula, which is the calculation they use to release funds to Missouri public schools. As they continue to underfund that, they're continuing to decrease the quality of education in Missouri public schools, and it's horribly unfortunate because they have so many options with the fact that we have the lowest cigarette tax in the state or in the nation. The state of Missouri is the lowest cigarette tax. We're also the third lowest when it comes to alcohol, but they're so unwilling to consider those things down at the state level to make up for the deficit that they're facing. And the people that are hurt the most are our public programs like public schools.
So that's the big problem. You've got more kids, more families moving into central Missouri, and the money for the public schools continues to decrease.
That's exactly right.
So what's the solution going to be?
You know, it's a challenge. We're looking at a 5-year budget plan, and we're going to be spending in the deficit for the next few years. We have some reserves right now. We're in pretty good shape when it comes to public schools. There are a lot of schools that aren't in the shape that we are, but we've managed to do some very smart things, and with ERA dollars, the stimulus funds. We've also had to make a lot of major cuts. We've had to eliminate about 250 positions over the past 4 years, and that's horrible. That's unfortunate. Those are positions of people here in Columbia. But we've managed to keep some reserves. So as we continue to see decreasing revenue, we're able to keep the quality of education at least steady here, but we're going to be spending down those reserves over the next few years, and at the end of 5 years, we won't have any reserves anymore. So we need to find a way to either, the two options we have are either dramatically decrease spending or find a way to increase our revenues. And with a budget that's roughly 80% salaries, decreasing spending means cutting staff, and as much as we've cut over the past 4 or 5 years, we're getting to a point where we're going to start seeing an effect on student success. It's
got to be affected somewhere.
That's
exactly right. You can't just keep making cuts and then these effects not show up.
And that's my concern, is finding a way with increasing demand for our services. We'd love to be able to live within our means. We hear that all the time, that we should live within our means. The problem is our costs are increasing and the number of students coming to our district are increasing. We expect to see an increase of about 1,000 students to about 1,200 students over the next 5 years. So we need to find a way to continue to provide a quality education while we're seeing an increased demand for that education.
So if people have ideas or they'd like to discuss ideas with you, how can they contact you?
They can feel free to email me at jonathan@jonathansessions.com. It comes straight to me. I answer all of the emails that I get. They can email any member of the board. We all respond, and we'd love to talk to anyone within the Columbia Public School District that has concerns or questions about how we operate and what we're doing.
Thank you, Jonathan Sessions. Good to talk to you again.
Thank you, James.
You've been watching Mediacom Newsleaders.